This is the Armed Forces of Ukraine's the DPNP-P Menu 2, roughly translated as reinforced. This thing comes in 7 different menus. It weighs 5 pounds, 13.1 ounces, or 2,636 grams. It contains 4,188 calories. And it has a 2-year, 9-month shelf life. Let's check it out. Oh, a close shave. This thing will come in 3 separate units. That's lunch. This is breakfast. Oh, nice. Flameless ration heaters. And here's dinner. You can save the outer pouch. Definitely a nice multi-purpose waterproof package, essentially. Here are the 3 different units. Breakfast is your smallest. We'll just use this slip from before. Got lucky, didn't cut the retort pouch inside. Check this out. Look at that, 350 gram beef kasha with buckwheat. Look at that, looks great. A good quality, thick retort pouch with a nice gusset so it can stand up on its own. That's always handy. And some biscuits and hardtack. Nice camouflage pack. Everything's green, which is nice. Alright. Here's the rest of it. This is what makes it reinforced. You'll get extra little side items. Look at that. A tiny little pack of dried apricot. Vacuum sealed. Feels like it has a fair amount of moisture in it still. Look at that. We're gonna examine these one meal at a time. A small dark chocolate bar. 35 grams. Again, that's something a Ukrainian ration never had before. Little snack items. Always was just canned food and hardtack and tea. Get a little pack of coffee, sugar, moist towelette, a piece of chewing gum, and some salt. And a small spoon and fairly reasonable napkin. It's looking pretty solid, actually. The spoon, you don't want to bend that. That is just doing the trick. We'll only need 1 heating element. They should give you 4. Yeah, there are 4. 2 for lunch, 1 for breakfast, 1 for dinner. And this gets reused. That's looking pretty good. Alright, let's get this out on your tray. Nice. Okay, let's first start off by checking out that main. Actually, we gotta heat it up first. A heating element. It's pretty heavy. See how well it works. Right at the fill line. Takes a little more water than, say, a US MRE. Okay, no tape, just gotta fold it. Let's check out that coffee. Smells pretty strong. Yeah, it's a nice spray dried granule. Ooh, listen to that FRH starting to activate. There we go. Okay. While that's heating up, this breakfast gives you a couple snacks to start your day, give you a little sugar and wake you up. Along with that coffee, fruit, and chocolate. That's pretty nice. These apricots. It smells like honey. I mean, that's amazing. Nice, ripe, delicious smelling apricots. That. Wow. Mouth watering. Let's go for that chocolate. It's looking pretty good. Barely any bloom. You know, this thing right here. Start your day off right. Nice little morale boost. That's what this is. Easy to eat. This and the apricots. Again, part of what makes it reinforced. Opposed to the standard canned, which was just hardtack, tea, and then your mains. You weren't getting anything like this. Actually, yeah, I thought it would have a nice scent. Forgot to give it a whiff at first here, but that is definitive. Nice fruit notes. Let's check out that coffee. A little bit acidic and bitter, but it tastes like coffee, you know, which is nice. I mean, sometimes you get a spray dried, like South African ration coffee. It's just odd because it doesn't really taste like anything. And that's not too cool. This here might not be the best ration coffee. It has... Actually, the second sip isn't too bad. Still fairly acidic. That's doing the trick. Certainly not coffee instant type 2, but still not too bad. Then these biscuits. That smells like a cereal biscuit or like kind of wheat cereal or something. Wow, look at that. These are pretty gourmet looking, actually. Low moisture content, but there is, like, I can feel a little shortening. Smells like wheat and a light amount of shortening. I gotta try a bite of this. A bit dry. Like a strange, almost stale texture, but then it's normal. It's a fairly dry and lackluster biscuit. On its own, natural wheat flavor. But for its actual texture, it has a somewhat disappointing lack of crunch. And a little bit thirst-provoking. You need some of this coffee to offset the... Gosh, that is really not that bad if you're starving. Let's check out this chocolate. That's a very soft dark chocolate. Like no snap. It's very delicate. It melts easily. Some of the best dark chocolate I've ever had. It melts very easily though. It has like this hint of cherry and coffee. Here, let's check out these apricots. They're juicy. Get a few of them there. Varying size. Look at that. And this one, that's a beaut. High moisture content for a dry fruit. Nice and fibrous. That's good. And there isn't too much sugar. It's just a high moisture content and then vacuum sealed. Could have some kind of stabilizer added and sulfites to keep it from oxidizing in color. But that is some of the best dried apricot. Sweet and with a velvety texture. That's great quality. Wow, that really worked. You'd probably thaw out a solid one if it were frozen. Give this another second. Alright, that's good. Now let's give this thing a look. Yeah, that's ready. Beef and buckwheat porridge. Let's check it out. That smells fresh and savory. Oops. It's looking pretty good. A nice gourmet breakfast. Wow. Yeah, it definitely has a good amount of meat. It's very mild. It's like a cereal with meat. The buckwheat tastes almost like it has butter in it. The beef is like a slow cooked braised beef, almost like pieces of Tushonka or something. It's tender and savory. You know, it's so mild. It almost seems like it could use this salt. Oops. They give you that option, but I say utilize it. A soldier's going to need every bit of sodium they can get in a ration anyway. With strenuous activity, it's not the kind of thing you have to really worry about. If anything, it's just getting enough of it. All right, there we go. It's just so savory. And that salt brings out that flavor a lot more. You know, these crackers, they're not that great on their own, but maybe this will be nice. Get this all in one bite. Well, maybe not, but this is quite the ration. 3 different units, a breakfast, dinner, supper unit inside of a large package that you can use for other improvised purposes. That's always handy. This main, the buckwheat, has such a comforting smell and flavor. It's delicious. It's quite nutritious too. It's high in magnesium and iron and fiber and protein and easily assimilated, gluten-free. It's definitely comfort food, and the fact that these things are coming in retort pouches now, I mean, that's great. The retort pouch tech that they're using is of good quality. The gussets, the built-in gussets, so I mean, it really is handy. That means that pouch can stand up on its own. It's going to make all the difference. You know, the spoon didn't break. I'm amazed. I'm also amazed by the flavor of this breakfast made. Beef and buckwheat kasha. I'm telling you, it's a great way to start your day. This is awesome. You know, the bread, or excuse me, the cracker or biscuit, hardtack, what have you, it's like a flatbread. And I think its lack of crunch is intentional. It's perfect with the main. I mean, you see how easy that is? It's like I think they intended for this. I'm pretty sure. Get it while it's hot. That FRH does the trick. You could heat this thing up in a cold climate. The coffee, once it gets cold, almost seems to improve in flavor. The apricots. They're juicy, fibrous, and sweet. A little bit sticky, but that's a worthwhile trade-off because these things are pretty much better than any, fruit snack you can buy at the store. Ukraine sure does know how to make a pretty decent dried apricot in a ration. Yep, I think that's the way to go. Get a bite of apricot and then some chocolate. It's pretty decadent. This is the best quality chocolate I've ever had in a ration. Cherry fruit coffee notes that are delicate with a smooth, chewy texture, almost like a fudge. Okay, those wheat biscuits are pretty amazing. I downed that with just a small sip of coffee. So they're not quite as thirst-provoking as I'd originally thought. Let's check out the chewing gum. A light spearmint, and it's not very sweet. Very mild in flavor. A sweetener, but not very strong. A perfect breakfast. Won't bog you down. Great start to the day. The moist towelette is a nice cloth that seems pretty strong. Look at that. Good moisture content. Has a light lemon detergent scent. Wow. A few of these would clean you up quite nicely. You might even be able to reuse it. You drop it in some water like this, and you could clean yourself up. You really could, because it's an actual cloth and won't just fall apart. The ones that are paper just fall apart. You can clean your utensils and your mess kit and whatnot with this. This is much more effective than your paper moist towelettes. A good passing grade cloth napkin, I would say. In about 3 or 4 hours, we're going to take it over to lunch. All right, now we're back with lunch. Okay, so right off the bat, that spoon and napkin. Look at this. 350 gram main of chicken with beans and vegetables. Oh wow, look at this. Large retort, 500 grams of a pea soup with pork. Then the rest, look at that. A rusk, I think a rye rusk. Apple jam. Another pack of the wheat crackers. Same as breakfast. Salt and pepper. 10-gram pack of sugar. Ooh. Piece of chewing gum again, and some Ceylon black tea. Moist towelette. That's a huge meal. Let's get sat onto a tray. Nice. Okay, let's first start off by checking out that tea. Ceylon black tea. Smells like a fresh, good quality English breakfast tea. Now for that pea soup, a 500-gram portion. Take one heating element, put that right there. This might be something you can only heat one at a time with. I'm curious to see. Oh yeah, it fits both. Nice. We'll get 2 heating elements on here. The pea soup will be piping hot. Get one on that side too. There we go. Wow, look at that. While that's doing its thing, let's check these out. A nice rye biscuit. Let's try a piece. Whoa. Okay. That's pretty hard. You know, that'll be nice with the pea soup. It's like a crouton. More of these. Same wheat crackers as breakfast. They give you this apple butter. Gotta put some of this on a biscuit. Wow, that's like a apple jam concentrate. Look at that stuff. It's thick. Almost has a flavor of honey, and it's really sweet. Has a pulp texture that, again, although fairly gelatinous, it's not just a bunch of pectin. It seems like a rendered down apple. It doesn't really seem like it's apple juice mixed with pectin or anything like an apple jelly. This is like rendered apples because there's quite a bit of pulp to this. It tastes like concentrated applesauce. Just enough for like maybe 2 of these crackers. Oh yeah. Maybe not the most spreadable of jam, but still looking pretty good. Okay, the tea is ready. thing left to do is check out those mains. We'll give this a look first. Whoa. The chicken with vegetables and beans, that's piping hot. All right, the chicken and vegetables. There's quite a bit of liquid in this. Wow, the smell is incredible. It's like the freshest chicken broth, and just very simple, like chicken broth and onions is what it smells like. It's quite the portion size. Makes me think, for the tray itself, fitting the pea soup on it would be quite the feat. Let's check out this tea. Get a little sip of that before we check out this pea soup. That is excellent. It's smooth and it's not bitter. Yet I steeped it for a long time, so strong tea that's still not bitter. The pea soup. Real quick, before we check out that, what looks to be like a chicken stew. The oil separation, that's beautiful. Absolutely astonishing. It smells like bacon. It is. Whoa, here. Oh, one sec. Wow, there's quite. Look at the pork. It's like. Oh, I gotta try this right now. Oh, it's hot. It's slow cooked pork in with a kind of thin pea soup with carrots. There's a lot of fat content. And there's not much salt. You could use the pack of salt. Even though there's pork in there and it has great savory flavor and high fat, could definitely use the salt. I'll hold off on the pepper, but I'll add this whole thing. Oh yeah. What we'll do is, it's pretty much like a retort pouch bowl. Add all these in, soak it for a little while, and probably eat everything else and then have this last. That'll definitely fill you up too. Thing is, these two will go hand in hand. They'll absorb beautifully. And you might want to close it up if possible. There we go. And this is a little bit watery too, you know, it's like a chicken stew. And let's try this out. It doesn't need salt. I mean, the sodium content on this is on point. It's like beautifully seasoned. There's a onion, garlic, and black pepper with carrot. You know what? It tastes like butter mixed in there. It's like some kind of fat. And the chicken, it's like chicken fat, chicken stock, carrot, onions. Look at that nice piece of dark meat. Minimally processed. It's tender. It's not dry. Oh wow, there's like chicken fat. Oh yeah. Savory, delectable, all natural. This is perfect food. It's nutritious, high protein, and quality food. It's going to keep them going strong, because that's what they're going to need. Ooh, pepper. I think you could actually use this to accentuate some flavor. So many rations are high in sugar and are relying on tons of sugar to bolster the caloric content. This ration is relying on nutritious food and not much more. Little apple butter, they're not really giving you that much sugar. 10 grams of sugar you can put with your tea. The tea is of great quality. It's smooth, it's not bitter, it's not bad. But there's just the one tea bag, there's the one coffee. It's not relying on tons of caffeine and sugar for energy. It is going to be relying on good quality food. Look at this piece of chicken. That is unbelievable. Look. When it's not in the gravy, it's a bit dry. But when it's in this unbelievably flavorful, like chicken fat and stock, onion, garlic, black pepper, and these little white beans, enriched carrot as well, all that flavor, broth or soup, gravy, what have you. This is just so much flavor. All right, let's check out the apple butter on a cracker. Or apple jam. Wow, that's like candy. It's not like your average jam. It's very accentuated. Almost tastes like an apple pie. Quite decadent, really. And pair well with this tea. A nice dessert without being too much. Okay, now it's time for some soup. Check out how that absorbed all that liquid. All right, here. Oh, wow. That's beautiful. Look at that. And look, all of it's out of there pretty much. That's food art right there. Coming out of a retort pouch. It's the kind of thing that'd take you all day to cook. And how the bread just softened up the way it needed to. I'm like lost in the flavor here. One sec. That crouton works beautifully with this pea soup. And the pea soup has potato, carrot, and a smoked pork. And what seems like a pork fat, the salt that was added really helps bring out the flavor. Unbelievably delicious and tastes freshly made. It tastes like something you would get at a restaurant that is busy all day because of this. Because it's something that you can't get anywhere else and everybody loves it. It's rich and delectable. Unlike anything I've ever had. What this has managed here is, I think, pinnacle for ration food. Like any kind of shelf-stable food at all. A 2-year, 9-month shelf life, and it has achieved this level of palatability. I mean, the food itself is of excellent nutritional value. It's kind of like a Spanish ration. There's like actual real food in it, opposed to a bunch of sugar, and then like a main and some side, and some little other thing that you're chasing after nutrition for, and after you eat the 3 things, you kind of get what you need, and then you get a bunch of sugar with it. Now, this is real food, where a soldier is not going to be crashing or having like mood swings or something, or weight loss, or a reduction in physical performance over a period of time in the field. They could live off these rations for an extended period of time without a major reduction in physical performance. If a soldier is fully consuming this thing throughout the day, 4,188 calories if they eat the whole thing, they're not going to lose a bunch of weight, in other words. This is perfection. In a lot of ways, this is one of the greatest rations ever made. In my opinion, I mean, it's no exaggeration. I mean, it's just for the food value and for what it's achieved. For those good quality retort pouches, they're thick, they got nice gussets. You can't go wrong. Natural food always beats out like overly processed, and you know it. This is minimally processed, delectable food. Well, gotta say, that was a perfect, sustainable, like, very nutritious and satisfying lunch. Enjoy this chewing gum. Clean the old palate. You know, that was not spearmint. That's a fruit flavor. That's like a banana pineapple flavor chewing gum. It's interesting. Very light flavor, but it's quite good. A firm chew. Not bad. In about 3 or 4 hours, we're going to take it over to dinner. Spoon. More of that wheat cracker chewing gum. Okay, so this is a 200 gram portion of pork Tushonka. It's a solid piece of meat, stewed meat. A stewed pork. Wheat rusks. 350 gram pearl barley kasha with pork. So a pork Tushonka, pearl barley with pork. Those will go well together. Tea. Oh wow, coffee. That's nice. 2 grams. And then honey. Yeah, I really like this thing. It's a modern combat ration. By this point, not bad. Alright, let's get sat onto a tray. Nice. Okay, let's first start off by heating up those mains. Just one heating element for the two of them. That'll do the trick. Okay. The wheat rusks are going to be hard as a rock, just like the rye ones. Perfect to mix up with the Tushonka, which is going to have a lot of fat, like a liquid fat once heated up. I learned the best way to heat these is just stand it up like this and keep the FRH heating element directly in the center of these two, like that. You can see it in there. And then stand it up. This is working well. Give it about 5 more minutes. Okay. Almost too hot. Hold on here. Let's check out the Kasha first. Pearl barley and pork. Has a nice malt smell, almost. Strong pearl barley. It's very fresh. Nice. That right there is substantial. Look at the pork. Little bits of carrot in there. Here, let's try a bite. Wow. That has a high fat content. The texture is so rich. It's definitely enriched with fat. The grain, the pearl barley grain, seems like it's almost like soaked in lard. And the flavor because of that. Man, that pork, it's really tender. Really basic flavor, just salt, black pepper, and onion. No garlic, nothing else. That is just relying on the flavor of pork, pork fat, pearl barley, carrot, and again, a tiny bit of onion. That's it. The pork Tushonka. It's not like your average beef Tushonka. This is in like a pork broth. Oh wow. Nice. And it smells almost like chicken. That right there is going to be excellent for this. It's like a soup. We're gonna keep that in there for just a second. That's just a savory broth. Salty, very salty, very high salt content. That's an alarmingly high amount of salt. It's unbelievable. Wow. Yeah, that pork is lean. Look at this stuff. Man, I can't wait to get this out onto the tray. But we're going to do this up like this. I could have left it, really, if out in the field, you would just set this directly in there, let it soak. Do it up this way so we can kind of see it, have it separated. I gotta check out that pork on its own. Once that soaks up, here, let's have some coffee. The spray-dried coffee, a little bit strange it's in dinner. I'm surprised it wasn't in lunch or 2 coffees for breakfast. But hey, you get that extra caffeinated beverage, maybe you'd save it for the morning. That's what I would do. I'd just save this for the morning. Probably save the honey and these crackers for the morning. If you're waking up, you have this little other snack. You don't have to open up a whole other ration right away. Set this in here. They give you so much awesome real food in this thing. I can't get over it. It's so rare with a ration to get that, where the snacks are kind of just enough to not be demoralizing. They give you just enough to where it's like, ooh, snacks, you know, it's great. But nothing more. Just a little dessert for each meal. The apple jam and some crackers for lunch. And it tasted like a fruit pastry. You know, you can just enjoy it, and it's good enough quality to where you can really do that. But then, now honey and these same bland wheat crackers that I'm really starting to love. Let's check out this honey. That is some different looking honey right there. Very light in color. A little bit granular. It's like icing. Kind of runny. Not like any other honey I've seen before, really. That's really not bad. A little bit messy. I wish the honey was a little thicker. It's kind of thin and flavorless. It's just like icing almost. Oh wait, I just tasted a little bit of honey. Very light flavor of honey. But it's like sugar icing, watery sugar icing. The honey needs to be a little bit thicker. And you pretty much, as soon as you open it, have to eat it. And you really can't even put it on a cracker. You have to eat it straight out of the pack. And that's what you would do. Or add it to the tea. The sugar, just a regular fine granular sugar. Nothing too special. Then this pork. Look at this. That is fantastic. It's very lean. It's not like beef Tushonka. This is really, really lean. And mix it with this. The flavor. It's just salt. I don't think there's any black pepper or onion or anything else. It's just relying on the flavor of the pork. Oh yeah. This is the most delicious ration. I'm not kidding. It's the chew on that. It's tender pork loin. I was expecting some kind of low-grade cut of meat, and this is definitely not low-grade. This is high-grade meat, and coming out of a retort pouch. Just meat. Nothing else. There's not a whole bunch of weird flavorings and stuff added or preservatives. This is just astounding. I mean, like, anybody that's into rations, you gotta get this. This is the Ukrainian ration that's worth getting. And, Ukrainian soldiers, they could live off these things for a long time. It's like, geez, all it needs is a toothbrush. There are Ukrainian ground forces canned 24-hour rations that are still produced and are not up to date like this thing. And there are still other rations out there, like Kazakhstan has a 24-hour ration that's really just not up to date, for what I feel should be a ration of modern times for modern combat. Ukraine now has one, and it's one of the best for actual food value. It doesn't really get any better than this. This is high in protein, fiber, complex carbohydrates, and a good balance of micronutrients to go along with it in food that is going to be, nutritious and something you can count on anyway. Delectable, slow-cooked pork. A pork Tushonka that its simplicity is its strength. The fact that it doesn't need anything, to be seasoned any further. It's perfection. You could eat that 1,000 times and never get tired of it. The way it is as good as it gets, in my opinion, for retort pouch meat. That's pinnacle. It does not taste like some kind of prefab meal. It tastes like a freshly cooked meal, and that's awesome. A near perfect ration. I mean, I think it could use a couple improvements. This hard bread is not very flexible in its usage. I mean, this is not bad. It's like buttered toast. It's a fresh meal, but not just any fresh meal. It's like going to a restaurant, but you don't even have to leave the house. It's always so neat. Look at that. The beauty. Royal Ceylon tea. Great thing about this, you're not getting bogged down eating this food. Because I'll tell you right now, my energy levels have held up all day. Focus and energy has actually increased. You're gonna feel good after eating this food. It's not gonna give you a sugar crash. You're gonna have quality energy all day that you can depend on, like energy that you're going to have. I mean, really, I think the only thing it's missing is a toothbrush. Outside of that, maybe some fuel tablets or something as backup to heat up some water. See if the chewing gum's a different flavor. Same as breakfast, spearmint, with a non-overly sweet, firm chew gum that I'd say is some of the better ration gum out there. If it has sweetener, which it seems like it is, the amount isn't offensively strong. All in all, I say this ration is near perfection. What an experience. Well, anyway, this is Steve1989. I hope you liked the video. And I'll be coming back at you with something new. Or old. Alright, cool. See ya.